Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up?
Sup? Sup to you?
Sup,
Sup
dude.
to all of you? Sup to your families?
Yeah, just sup.
Yeah.
Sup to all, honestly.
Sup to America, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
From the bottom of our hearts, sup.
Sup. I'm David Bell.
I'm Tom Ryman.
And we just watched Companion.
Companion.
It's a fuck robot.
Companion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Sup.
There have been two moments in my life when I was happiest. The first was the day I met Josh.
I'm Josh.
I'm Iris. And the second, the day I killed him.
Call me Sexbot to my face.
This is okay. All right. So
That's the I spit on your grave version of the title.
Okay.
Yeah.
This does have some I spit on you. This has a lot of things in it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so this is what the trailer, we didn't spoil anything with the fuckbot because that's what the trailer tells you right away.
Yeah.
I think I remember, did we talk about like this trailer maybe seemingly showing too much? And I want to talk about that. But
we thought maybe it was supposed to be more of a reveal that she was a robot. And it does seem like that the first chunk of this movie, maybe the first 15 or 20 minutes.
Right. Well, this is what I was saying. Right.
They slowly drop hints that she's a robot.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like they knew that in the trailer you'd know.
Right.
That was the vibe I got. This movie, so yeah, this is
obviously they have to sell it somehow. So yeah, that's how you sell it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's so the trailer is like a woman realizes she's a sex robot, and that's all we really know, and clearly shit goes wrong. We speculated that she was involved in some crime, which is turns out to be true. Everybody, if you don't want it spoiled, obviously go watch it. Written, directed by Drew Hancock, who's done like a few things, but nothing that was on my radar, I guess I should say.
Uh-huh. And it's produced by Zach Kreger, who is from Whitest Kid You Know, and he directed Barbarian.
Okay. Sophie Thatcher's there. Mm-hmm. Jack Quaid, Summer of Quaid
is here. Yep.
Guillermo's there.
Guillermo, yeah. Harvey Guillen.
Yeah. And so, what did you think of? I
pronounce his name correctly.
What did you think of Companion?
Oh, Dave, I really liked this movie.
Oh, I thought this was fantastic.
This was great. Yeah.
So, I guess I wanted to start with the trailer because going into this movie, here's what I'll say: like, really fucking. Like, this movie impressed me. I'm a big structure freak, right? And so
yes,
I don't know about you, but like, and like, I watching this movie, every time I felt like I was like, oh, I'm ahead of you, movie, it got ahead of me immediately.
Yep.
Yeah. And what I mean is that like the first half of this movie, I don't want to say a lesser movie, but a lesser movie would have you like stretched that entirely out to the full movie. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're trying to find her in the forest, you mean?
Yeah, and like they would have done like the third act reveal would have been like that Jack Quaid had her do the murder. You know what I mean? Like all the stuff that I thought was going to be the long movie stretch like twists, they just bam. When I remember thinking like, oh, that other guy's a robot. He's another robot, and they're like, yeah, he is.
Yeah, he sure
and, like,
is.
They immediately just reveal it. Every time in my head, I was like, oh, that's gonna. And they're like, yeah, it is gonna happen. Here it goes.
Yeah.
What next?
Yeah, you're so fucking smart, aren't you?
Yeah,
aren't you? It seemed to say.
Yeah, that was like what really grabbed me immediately. So it's a woman who's going on a trip with her boyfriend. And if you've watched the trailer, you sort of know, like, she's a fucking robot. Like, you know that her beginning memory of him in the grocery store, you know, like, I don't know about you, but I was like, oh, that was programmed into her.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're going in knowing what the deal is.
Right. And so, like, she's going to hang out with his friends for the weekend, and it's all her friends and Sergey.
And Sergey, Rupert Friend.
Yeah.
In an electrifying cameo. I love the little hints that they drop. This movie is really well written and very well directed, I think.
I think so too.
Very impressive. But like we mentioned briefly, they drop these hints that she's a robot throughout the first 20 minutes or so, even though we already know she is they still make it fun because it's dramatic irony because she doesn't know that she's a robot yet.
Right. Like my favorite part is they go to bed and she's talking. He goes, "Iris, go to sleep." And he says it so plainly, and you realize, like, he's not commanding his girlfriend to go to sleep. He's telling a machine to shut off.
Right.
And like,
we cut to him there, and it's an abrupt cut to his dumb ass orgasm face.
Yeah.
Which great. It's almost the MacGruber gag. Like it's so undignified. And he immediately just flops off of her and shuts off the light.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like another hint, but it's like you think it's just like, oh, he's a shitty boyfriend.
Boyfriend, yeah.
Which he is. Two things can be true. There was just an additional thing about that. But I like the hints that they are dropping about his character because for a little bit you kind of sympathize with him.
At first, like, you're like,
oh,
having a robot, like a sex robot companion, is like, it's not necessarily a crime, you know, like in a world where you think that she's a toaster, where you're like, because this is a world that's positing, like, you know, this is in the not too distant future. They give him like a fully self-driving car, and so you get the idea of like, oh, okay, so we're a little past now, and like, you know, in any other world, it'd be like, yeah, it's a robot. It doesn't mean anything. It's a toaster,
right? But like in her, like first of all, straight away, it's very subtle because you would just probably assume that it's just a Hollywood casting thing, but she is far too young for him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's thing one. Thing two is in her like dream of meeting him, she's dressed like in a mini skirt and like a crop top. Like she's dressed like a sex doll in most of his interactions with her. It's just very.
I could also the aisle behind her just says fresh dairy.
Yeah.
And I was like, that just feels weird and perverse. Like the whole thing feels like a fantasy.
Yeah.
And they're playing with this idea that it's like it's romantic, but there's all this like it's like, no, it's not.
Right. It's a template.
It's a fuck doll. Yeah.
Yeah, we find out later it's just a template that he picked from a drop-down menu.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like that we get sort of the idea of how pathetic he is, because that's really the slow burn for him, because we find out he's a bad guy pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But the reveal there is the slowly unveiling that he's William H. Macy from Fargo.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right down to him going like, yeah, at the end when he's getting arrested, like that completely undignified scream he lets out.
He's just a wiener. He's just a shitty wiener.
So like that's kind of like the fun twists that they do with his character. It's just like more layers of just how depraved he is. Just like how much of a scumbag he is.
For me, the twist for me was like just at
I just
any
meant for
given
him
moment
specifically.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Go ahead,
but like
sorry.
the overall movie, like I just like that they didn't rely on reveals. It's more about you're sitting there and just going like, well, what's going to happen next?
Yes. Yeah.
Like that's a really fun feeling.
Yeah.
And that is watching his character unfold for sure is fantastic. Of just again, like you said, it's like, pretty like soon you're like, oh, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And
you find out what the plan is pretty quick too.
Again, and that's one of those moments. So she goes down to hang out with Sergey. He puts hands on her.
She goes down to the lake to hang out with Josh, with Jack Quaid,
yeah.
but he's like staying in bed and tells her to go down, and then Sergey shows up.
Right, and I can see them telling Sergey to go down there too.
Yeah, which is, we find out later, is exactly what they did.
Yeah, and then Sergey puts hands on her. She fights back, and basically she defends herself by stabbing him in the neck.
Sure does.
And they do that. They do a beautiful sequence there. Of like, you don't see it at first. You just see her walking in covered in his blood, holding the knife. But you know what happened. And right away, like any intelligent viewer is like, oh, I know what happened. He made her. And then while you're saying that to yourself, they just say it. They just have him and his friend. It seems like it's maybe romantic.
No, he's an incel.
Oh, right. He is.
He's pining after her.
Yes.
That's like a kind of like a slow reveal, but she's his like partner in crime, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like they just start talking about it. Yeah. Like, yeah, there it is. So he jailbroke his sex robot to kill this guy. And yeah, the other character, Kat, told him that he was like a Russian mobster. And then later reveals like, no, he's not. He's just a Russian guy. That's it. He's just a weirdo.
One of the things I really liked about the script is the little, like you said, it's not like trying to be too clever, like trying to get ahead of you or like necessarily blow your mind with twists or anyway. But it does leave like these little breadcrumbs that you might not really be thinking about too much that then come together in fun ways.
Yes. Stuff like Stalin's birthday to me was like, oh, that joke is done. And then it plays in later.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, cool. Like taking these things that could have been throwaway jokes.
And like when you said Sergey, it reminded me of when they're asking him what he does for a living. He says it's very dirty business. And then we find out later he's a sod. He's a sod billionaire.
Sod billionaire.
So he meant literally dirty.
Dirty business. Yeah. Yeah,
and the corkscrew.
Yes, that was another one where
like I didn't even realize I was looking at it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
No,
I didn't. Thinking like
I didn't realize I was looking at it. Yeah.
I kept thinking, I bet this is going to come in handy because they keep showing it.
They do. I just thought it was another, because one of the visual motifs, and I'm obviously the thematic motif is automatons or automation.
Right.
Like it's his automatic car. She interacts with a lot of the other automated things. Like the corkscrew is one of those automated devices. And like there's a bit when they first get to that house and the car's like, we've arrived. I hope you enjoy your weekend. And then Josh is just kind of getting out of the car and she's looking at him like, aren't you gonna say something?
Yeah,
and then
thank your car.
Yeah, thank your car. So anyway, I didn't pick. I just sort of put that in the little bucket of, oh, that's another like automated thing. They keep showing us how much these people rely on automated robots, basically devices.
It was really efficient, I gotta say, because there were things like things. Again, it's so it's not even that they didn't bother with twists. It's more my thought of like the things that other writers would have had as like, this is my grand finale, was stuff that they were throwing out.
Right.
They're just like, oh yeah, we don't even need this.
I didn't mean to say
we don't even need the twist that the boyfriend that Patrick is also a robot.
Yeah.
We can establish it pretty quickly and just run with it.
Right.
And it's like, that's so cool that they have other plans. And then there were things that were like she's going through when he sits her down and explains you're a robot. He also explains, they do a flashback of how did we first meet, which is very funny as well. They have a guy run through the boot up process and they give a lot of information that you sort of know, like this information is going to come up. But it doesn't always come up in the way you think.
No,
like stuff where it's like put your thumb in the back of to reset them. I was like, oh, he's gonna do that to her. He never does. He does it to the other guy.
Patrick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just real quick, I wanted to backpedal and say I didn't mean to say this movie wasn't clever. That wasn't the right way to phrase it. What I meant was it doesn't insult your intelligence by making the obvious thing the twist.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
The twist with Guillermo and Patrick isn't that Patrick is a robot. It's that they're genuinely in love.
Yes. That it's Guillermo's response.
Yeah.
I love that we're just going to call him Guillermo. Listen, sometimes you nail a role.
Put your neck into my mouth.
Oh man.
He's so goddamn funny.
Yeah.
Guillermo,
so
and anyway.
But yeah, like oh shoot.
Sorry.
We were talking about the automation.
Yeah. And how the twist was that they're genuinely in love and they didn't waste their time on the obvious things being the twist.
I remember what I was thinking of is when he explains to her she's a robot then, so we get all that stuff. And then we get an info dump. Like I was thinking about how to get the exposition out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like there were certain things that seemed like they give you this exposition dump and you're not quite sure what in there means what, but you know it all kind of matters. And then he gives her an example and he goes like, you can't, like he explains you can't lie. That's one of the things.
Mm-hmm. And that comes back, but not in the way we expect. Sorry.
Exactly. And you know it's gonna happen. You know, like, oh fuck, they can't lie. That's gonna be a big issue. He tries to prove to her she's a robot by changing her languages. So she realizes she's speaking the wrong language. And I was like, oh, that's a cool way to convince her. And then she gets a hold of her phone way earlier than I thought. That was another thing in the trailer where she ups her intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
I thought like, oh, that's going to be like third act stuff. No,
that happens pretty quickly.
Yeah. And she starts changing like her eye color and her voice tone. And you're like, these are really cool, fun and games with like, she's a robot. You don't think about it. And then later she gets in the automated car and it's voice activated and he's trying to smash into her car and she's having to change the modulation of her voice to approximate his voice to get the car started.
Right.
And that was so fucking good.
Right.
Because it was like,
well, I'm sorry, finish.
Well, it was just like, it was to show, like they used these gags that were like a good, just showing how she's a robot. And then they used every part of it. And then later the language as well. She has to talk to a cop, but she knows she'll lie. So she changes her language. And it's like
Sherman,
you're using,
it's very fun.
Yeah, you're using every fucking part of these concepts.
Mm-hmm.
That's so, I don't know, that's so smart.
It is, yeah. I really liked this script.
Yeah. It's just,
shoot, I had something
again,
down
it's the
anyway.
Efficiency of it, like, I don't know, really wowed me.
Yeah. Shoot, I had a thought, but it's gone.
Oh no. Yeah, we have
fine.
our thoughts are racing by with this one.
One thing I did want to talk about is that scene where he sits her down and is explaining to her that she's a robot.
Yeah.
Which is a neat scene, I think, for a few reasons. One, like you said, it's a pretty effective and efficient way to do an info dump. Right, that's something I did want to talk about. Let me write that down real quick so I can finish this thought. Yeah, because I don't want to forget my thoughts again.
I understand.
Oh shit, what was I talking about? Fuck. Dave.
we both just came out of this movie.
I know, yeah.
Well, rewind the podcast.
I know I wanted to talk about the info dump. Right. I wanted to talk about the flashback. That's the thing I wrote down. I liked it I thought it was good for that reason, but also it's not a red herring necessarily, but it strings us along a little bit more with his character. Because at first I'm thinking like, well, why tell her at all? Why turn her back on and tell her at all? Just reset her. Right. And then when his PIC, Kat is the character's name, pulls him into the other room and it's like, why are you talking to her? Like why haven't you rebooted her already or smashed her? Like, what are you doing? And he says like, I kind of feel bad. Like I feel like, I wanted to say goodbye and I feel like she was owed an explanation. And I think that's real. Like, I think that was genuine. And
they're doing it
strings you along a little bit where you're still kind of like, well, maybe he's not all bad.
Maybe Kat's the villain.
Right.
You know, you're like, who's the bad? Because Kat also, although I kind of expected more of a blink twice situation where her and Kat were eventually going to see eye to eye.
Right,
or
because they
like
have that exchange where Kat doesn't like her because she sees herself in the automaton because she's basically just a trophy girlfriend of the Russian guys.
Yeah. And she also, she says like something like she almost says like, I feel threatened by you. That's like
literally
what
she
represent.
says. She says, I feel like I don't like how you make me feel replaceable.
Yeah, that's
what she says, yeah.
Yeah.
So not literally,
and
but
again,
that's the gist of what she said.
But it's these moments with, it's that early fun in games where you're like, they're hinting that she's a robot in the way they're talking to each,
Yeah.
I think Sergei calls her a beautiful creation when he meets her, and you're like, does he know? And then he's like, yeah, we've talked about you a lot. So it's like, oh yeah, they do know.
And again, when he starts putting hands on her, he's like, no, it's okay. My girlfriend gave me permission.
Right. Yeah, because he sees her just as an object.
Yeah, literally, she's an object.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, like, even though they're stringing us along with that scene because he genuinely feels bad, like, we still had those things up front that, like, she's barely in her 20s and she's dressed like a sex doll. So it's like, I feel like he's pathetic. The flashback, that's the thing I wrote down. When we're getting the info dump of how she works and like because you want to hear the actual story of how we first met, and it's him getting the delivery. When they show up to deliver her to his apartment, he is blasting the Goo Goo Dolls song from City of Angels.
It's so good.
Which is great for two reasons. One is the fun Easter egg, because obviously his mom was in City of Angels.
Right.
But the other is it's the perfect fucking song for this pathetic little worm to be listening to while he's waiting for his sex doll.
It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's the music in this, the choices I noticed were very, very good.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
And that was beautiful.
That was a great one.
When you start this is another thing I liked. It's technically a plot convenience, but it works because it's so relatable throughout. Is like a question you might ask yourself is like, well, if he knows how to jailbreak her, why isn't he like savvy with how she works and stuff like that? And they do this idea that he gets a mod for her that he like plugs into his phone.
It's just on a thumb drive.
Yeah, and later they do a really cool idea that like, again, it's a plot convenience, but I think it fits fine, is when so there's a scene, and it's in the trailer, where he has her at the table. He makes this nice meal. He's like, at this point, he's like mad at her. He's monologuing, like that's the villain
he's
thing.
Going Hannibal on her.
Yeah, but he puts her intelligence all the way down to 0, makes her light her hand on fire. It's horrific. It makes her shoot herself in the head. And this just plays into like exactly the kind of guy he is.
Yes.
Where then he calls the people, they come to take her away, and they're just like, they try to make a connection with the thing. And they're like, oh yeah, well, we'll plug her in, and we're just gonna upload the data and the footage. And he's like, what footage? And they're like, oh, they, for like insurance purposes, they record everything.
That's what he literally says.
For literally, what you're doing. And then he's like, well, she shot herself in the head. And they're like, oh no, the heads just has like the Wi-Fi stuff. Yeah. No, all that stuff is like down in the chest. And it's that realization of like, he's tech savvy enough to jailbreak her, but not enough to really know anything. And they say to him like, it's all in the, it's all in the user agreement. You read that, right? Which is a thing nobody does. So it's just a great little shorthand for like, oh, this guy's an idiot. Yeah. Like he's committing a crime using something he doesn't understand.
Exactly. The thumb drive is automated.
Yeah.
It's just a program that he plugs in to his phone.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't know how it works.
It's no different than someone doing crimes on their phone and then suddenly learning like, oh, apparently that shit can be traced back to me. Like it's just that.
It's the fucking BTK killer sending an email with his location data on it.
Yeah, just not realizing like, oh, I guess that
doesn't understand how this works.
Yeah. And so it's that perfect like Twilight where he's like tech savvy enough to like tweak her, but clearly, like, again, he's just kind of an idiot.
Right,
Like, it all comes down to the fact that, like, he's just kind of a dummy. I mean, and what we're ultimately watching is this guy spiral, because like by that point, by the time he's ordering his other new love robot to kill these guys, it's like there's no going back here.
Oh,
like, yeah.
Yeah, he's really in trouble at this point.
He can like his best hope is to light the house on fire with all this stuff in it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and blame it all on the robot.
Yeah. I do love how they used the meet cute stuff. How they used, there was a lot of like the Goo Goo Dolls thing, a lot of little subtle, like how pathetic, like I almost want to say like the cliches of romance. Like that's sort of the incel thing where it's like this guy is they expect romance in life to be this certain thing, or they're sort of making fun of it.
This template of tropes.
Exactly, of meet cutes. And they show the one Guillermo does where he's at a party. And this is the moment you realize is where his sex robot is talking about when they met. And he describes a meet cute that you're like, oh, he's a robot.
Yeah.
That's a program. And they're at a party and he's dressed up in a full dinosaur. It's little things where you're like, it's like, why would he be dressed that way in a fucking costume party? Like, why would you dress in a full fluffy dinosaur outfit at a fucking party?
It's very How I Met Your Mother, yeah.
Yeah. And he steps on his tail. And then when Jack Quaid... Oh, no, the first sequence is that. And then they both dance the night away.
Yeah,
this, like,
while everyone's watching them.
Yeah. Which you get this feeling of, like... This is like a little more custom of a meet cute. Like it's just a little dumber than the other one, the grocery store one.
It's pretty dumb. Like, but it's not offensively so.
Yeah.
So it's you don't realize it until you see it in the context of this other one, and then you're like, oh, this is just the most base, dumb as hell person who's not actually interested in emotion, just literally wants a robot to love him.
Right, it's like the most baseline, like romantic comedy
exactly,
shit.
Yeah.
And then
I pressed all the correct romance buttons. One sex, please.
Yeah, and they have a moment later when fucking the Guillermo dies pretty early.
There's something Patrick, about that I wanted. Let me write that down.
Yeah, write it down. And Patrick, basically Jack Quaid hacks Patrick the robot, and he has to reset him. And they do the meet cute again for Jack Quaid.
It's Jack in his
and that made me laugh so fucking hard because they just do like down to every line
they go
expression.
all the way through the dance too.
And it was like, oh, that is so delightful. Like it's stuff like that where it's this combination of like this movie didn't forget to be very, very fun. Yeah. This is one of those scripts where I'm like, I fucking envy this. I envy this because it has the right combination of like, it's so efficient. It doesn't go in the places you think. It finds opportunities to organically be weird and fun, like within it. I'm just like, God damn, way to check off all the boxes. That's so good.
Chekhov's corkscrew.
Chekhov's, yeah.
Yeah. The shot through the heart thing. There was a couple of people that get killed instantly by the robots. Yeah. Just with like heart shots. Like Guillermo is one of them.
Yeah.
He kills Patrick later kills like friend of the pod, Matt McCarthy. In
is he friend of the pod?
Yeah, he was on Cracked Movie Club.
Oh, no shit.
He's a comedian. I'm pretty sure Jeff knows him. Anyway.
Oh, cool. He's good in this.
Yeah, he's really funny. When they're carrying her out of the house, as soon as they walk out, it's like, so what do you think happened? Oh, he modded her.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that part.
Instantly what happened.
Oh yeah, well I love all that shit where the guy is like, he's trying to give this excuse. Again, it plays into how Jack Quaid, like you get the vibe of like he was never going to get away with this.
Oh no.
Like even if like he is not smart. He was like, he didn't look into it at all. And like the idea of him like making this elaborate, like, yeah, she shot herself because she was jealous. And like, and he leaves and he's just like, yeah. And he immediately is like, no, none of that made sense. This guy's a fucking freak.
Modded it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think it's more, it's a little bit with Matt McCarthy because he gets shot a few times, But it's more so with Guillermo, who gets shot a single time right through the chest, directly through the heart. So it's both like, it's like another little kind of like hint about where the actual CPU is. And also, obviously, thematically, it's their heart.
Yeah, it's their heart.
It's their heart. Yeah. Anyway, that was just another thing about the script. But I like that it manages to be successful both as a horror comedy and as a genuine like thriller, like, well, not a thriller, but like a suspense movie.
Yeah,
there is some suspense.
There is some. Here's what I'll say about that is like, some of it is like, again, I wouldn't have changed a thing for the record. I really liked this. This is a fucking terrific movie, but it is taking a risk because by avoiding, like, again, we talked about, so she runs out into the woods. Like the scenes in the trailer where they show her like escape and they show her up her intelligence. That was some of the shit where I was watching the trailer and going like, oh, you're showing too much. Like that's got to be like the third act, you know, you're showing everything. And then the fact that they give her that really early.
Yeah, it's like the top act too.
Yeah, you don't feel particularly scared for her. And it's perfect because it's kind of the fun and games section. That's where the fun and games goes. So you're sitting there, like, that's all to say that it is a thriller at times. It is a horror at times. But to me, this was mostly a comedy.
Right.
It was mostly like, let's have fun.
Yeah.
Because like in those sequences, I was just like, oh, we get to watch her murder these people. Like, there's
a point when it becomes clear that it's just going to be fun and games, that it's just kind of like Ready or Not. But, you know, even though it starts with like the Sunset Boulevard narration where it's like the two best days of my life are when I met Josh and when I killed him. But I was still like worried for her for a little bit because I didn't know if she was going to be like narrating from like a scrap heap or some shit. Like, but the tone
could have done that.
The tone becomes clear by the end of Act 1.
Yeah, and there were
once she's free and in the forest, it's pretty clear where it's going. Yeah.
The narration was kind of a risk too, only because it's not throughout. It's just the beginning of an end. And I do think that was done. I don't know if it was a producer note or whatever. One of the things about this movie is it doesn't take long to get going, but I guess it takes a little long. I'd have to watch it again. And I feel like they were giving people kind of a little bit of a taste at the beginning. And I think that worked out really well. Although it probably was in the script, actually. It was just, again, it's all, think of it by structure, where it's like, that was a really good way to draw people in because it is a horror comedy, but it doesn't start with any like big murder scene or like any big way to grab. It's like very typical, right? Where it's like, it's just people driving. It's a very typical horror star, which is we're driving to your friend's house.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so far out in the woods. And even that's motivated because you learn like, yeah, he's trying to commit a fucking murder here.
He's trying to rob this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Using his sex bot as the murder weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm just remembering the final reveal to how pathetic Jack Quaid is. We find out that he doesn't even own her.
Oh, yeah.
He's renting her. She's a rental.
So I kind of assumed that only because I was looking
never even crossed my mind. I wasn't thinking in that direction.
It's like a car, you know. I was just like, oh no, he's leasing to own or whatever. Like that thing is expensive, right? That was just my thought about it. But like, it is very funny that when he says that, because like you see his apartment early on too.
Yeah,
like that shit is so. That was another one of those things that like they do really good with this script, which is that like it's all about sort of how it's showing things. Like I would love to show this to someone who didn't know that she was a robot, because there are very smart things they do where it's like his car is nice, but you don't really know how nice because they're in the future, right? But it's like, okay, he's got a cool self-driving car. They're going to this friend's house. He's very impressed by the house, but like anybody would be. And so like when it's like, do you know how we first met? And you see his shitty apartment. Because like you said, she's too young for him. She's, you know, again, it's the thing where they're all actors, so they're all pretty. But you're sort of like, he seems like he might be kind of successful when you first see him.
Yeah.
Where it's like
he's got that
just
nice
kind of
car and
it's got a kind of the "Don't worry, darling" feel to it.
A bit,
where
yeah.
it's
I
like,
thought about that. Yeah,
because then when you see his apartment, you're like, oh, this is just some guy, isn't it? Like, this is just where it's like, from her perspective, he seems like this god.
He hung the moon, yeah.
Yeah. And then you realize, like, this is just some loser. Like, this is just a dude who lives in a one bed. This guy works at fucking, I don't know where, you know, like, he's not an executive.
No,
he works like
guy.
in IT or something.
Yeah, he has barely above the average consumer's understanding of electronics. And granted, this is in the near future. It's probably just the average person's understanding of electronics. Right.
Yeah, there is.
At that point.
There's definitely an overall thing here about automation, but I don't think it's saying anything.
No, I think it's just
fine.
there. I think it's just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also because there's I think it's a little bit of the Ex Machina thing where it brings out the cruelty in people.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. I think that's about as much as it's saying about that. There's a line where Matt McCarthy, who's one of the doll techs, is rattling off what he has seen, what some people have done with their companions, and like he said, like some of them take them down to the basement and torture them.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that's really dark,
right? Like, this is obviously set in a larger, like, kind of dystopian situation, right?
Yeah.
But it's trying. It's not like it's not trying to be political. It has stuff to say, I would say, and it's baseline, and there's nothing wrong with that, about, like, you know, abusive relationships, obviously, where it's like she's programmed to love him. Yeah. And so it's like for a while she's like drawn.
She's helpless to it. It's
they show like things where she like honestly, this was another thing that was actually kind of a relief, as I thought they'd play into that way more.
Mm-hmm. It goes away pretty quick though.
Yes. I liked when she first gets out and he like turns her over and she hits him in the neck. And then turns and goes, she throws punch him and then goes to like Kat and she goes like, listen, put ice on it. If it swells, go to the hospital. Cause I like that idea of like, yes, she still feels those feelings because she's programmed, but she's not going to not hit him in the neck. She's not like,
right.
She's going to punch him in the throat. Yeah. It's her survival. Her need to live is greater than her love for him.
Because he increased it. He increased her survival, will or her need to live, and also increased her self-defense so that she would stab Sergei.
Yeah, we didn't mention that is the mod.
Yeah.
And then for fucking Patrick, this was another moment I was like, do it, come on, yes. Where he fucking jailbreaks Patrick and does like aggression, and he puts it at like
100.
30, and then he goes, yeah, fuck it, and puts it at 100.
Oh yeah, it's like at 21 at first.
Part of me thought, and I would have accepted it going in this direction, because like for me, this movie again was all about just like, let's think of a new game and have fun with it. I didn't need it to be about anything. I didn't need it to like I kind of like a version where Patrick wakes up and just tears Jack Quaid apart, and now it's just like, what do we do about this guy now? Like
now this guy's like, a problem.
Yeah, now like if it just kept escalating like that, if it just kept snowballing, I think that would have been a really funny way to go with it. But I understand that it's like, no, movies have to have like, they have to be wrapped up in a package. You have to plant things and pay them off. But part of me was like, I kind of want like the nihilistic version of this. That's like, nah, fuck it. Like, let's make this like King Kong, where it's just a rampage scene.
Oh man, he pans labyrinths, that one cop.
Yeah, he fucks up that cop.
He just punches his skull in.
Doomed cop.
Oh, yeah, man.
It was great because I loved that relationship where they did a good job where, because now Patrick's in love with Jack Quaid, and so he's like calling him dear and honey back and forth. And then like when Kat is like gonna leave and he's like, Patrick, stop her. So he just stabs her
in the lung.
And he's like, what did you do? And he's like, you told me to stop her. You know, like I love that, where it's like he didn't quite have control. Like I wondered for a while, is Patrick going to be the thing that kills Jack Quaid, right? Like I kind of thought that for a while, and they circumvent that. They do a little like singularity shit where she talks like this was she talks through like Patrick's gonna kill her, but she reminds him of his love for Guillermo, and Patrick ultimately kills himself which was like a little convenient.
Yeah.
But I liked it because I was like that. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I assumed Patrick was going to like kill Jack Quaid or like.
And that's the second spot where the fact that she can't lie comes into play in an unexpected way. Where
You're right.
That's how she convinces him that she's not bullshitting him. She's like, you don't actually love Josh. He's programmed you. You love Guillermo. No.
You're right. That was really cool.
Eli is his name in the movie. You love Eli. You know it's true because I can't lie.
That was great because her saying I can't lie and it hits him of like he knows that is a fact.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
And also when we find out he knows he's a robot, I don't know. There's just so much good about that. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's the other thing you want. So like they reveal that he's a robot, and it's like okay. Like again, I saw that coming. Mm-hmm. I didn't see it coming where he turns to Guillermo and basically says like as much because like. Clearly, Guillermo isn't.
He genuinely said. He says, "I know I'm a robot.
I know I'm a robot, man." Like because he says something to him
offhand. Yeah, I would never. Yeah. I would never break into your programming and make you kill somebody. It's like, what do you mean?
Like, if you were a robot,
you know what I mean. If you were a robot,
and he like kind of half-asses it because the reveal is again that they genuinely love each other.
Yeah,
and so it's like to him, it's like not a secret really. It's just like it's clear that like it's been like something he's probably he's dropped hints in the past like because Patrick knows about it.
He asks him, Guillermo asks him how he knows, and he's just like, I just pieced it together over the years.
Yeah.
So which is another subtle thing that they've been together for a long time.
Right. They say he's an older model is one of the things. Yeah. And so it's the reveal that like, he's in it for good. Like he's not like getting a new, hotter, cooler model.
And I like that we see that like you see the obvious thing you think of when somebody says sex bot or companion bot with Jack Quaid. He's pathetic. Like as soon as he unpacks her and boots her up, he's fucking her. Like it's an abrupt cut, and it's like you hear him making these like pathetic sounds.
Yeah.
So it's the instant loser that everybody thinks of, but then they also show this guy Eli who just was lonely.
Yeah, and they show genuine love between them,
and they have like a genuine relationship and love. So it's like,
and they do a good job because you're thinking like, I mean, but Patrick is programmed, right? And then when Eli sort of asks him, like, what does it feel like? Mm-hmm. That's what she repeats back to him. And what they show is that Patrick is more than his programming. That's the last thing he achieves before he dies is basically being like, no, I choose to love Eli and not Jack Quaid. That's a nice way of doing it, of sort of showing like, we're not coming down on artificial. It's kind of we're gonna do a her real quick. We're gonna do a quick
it's
her.
A little bit. I was thinking about her as well when I.
Yeah, we're not trying to come down hard on it, but it's sort of like it's that idea of like, it doesn't. The message, it doesn't matter that she's a robot, right? Jack Quaid could be doing this to a human.
Exactly.
Is what it comes down to.
Yeah. And the idea of love is programming, Because it is there's the obvious parallel or metaphor for an abusive relationship, and it's hard for her to run away from him because she loves him, even though she knows she needs to get away from him in order to survive.
Right. And like, it's a lot of the nice guy. I think the reason they kept MacGruberring the sex is to show the like, just the embarrassing reality of like hey, what he really. That's
what her narration is too at the beginning and end. It's like when the dream fades and you see the world for the way it really is.
Yes, exactly. And it's these moments of like, no, he's just trying to get his rocks off.
Yeah.
That's it. Ultimately, that's his goal.
That's all she is to him.
Yeah. Like
even
everything
though he
else
does feel a little bad.
Right. Like they do good with those complexities, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's like, I'm sure he is, has a relationship with her. Like, obviously, but at the end of the day, he's
throwing her away. Yeah, she was just convenient for him.
Yeah, he likes saying Irish go to sleep when he needs to.
Yeah,
like it's that
when she was talking to him about her feelings. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he just shuts her off, and it's like that. It's just a very good, I don't know, it's a very good balance there, where it's like he likes this version. I mean, it's sort of, it's
when he's
again,
totally
it
in
does,
control. Yeah.
it really does play into the incel thing, and like it reminds me of things like AI porn and stuff like that, where it's like, let's have these like like smooth complexion, beautiful, like perfectly constructed versions of a woman that have no like blemishes and are just like, oh, like it's that's what like, you know, any of the AI like they have girlfriend bots and stuff, where it's like that's what it's doing, right? Is it's creating this like unobtainable, bizarre version of a human being. That's like will make it so that these people just will never be satisfied with actual human interaction. Like it's creating a convenience out of human interaction.
Also, there's a bit of grooming in there, because I keep mentioning how he's way too old for her, but that's like he specifically picked her because like you mentioned it's like this really specific sort of fantasy version of a woman, and she's like barely a woman, right? Like,
oh yeah,
the actress is in her 20s, but it seems like she's meant to appear to be like 19.
Yeah,
and like they're sort of just real quick when they're first driving to the house, and she's like, they don't like me. I feel like the implication there is his friend. If you didn't already know that she was a robot, it feels like the implication there is his friends are kind of like weird to her because she's so young.
Yeah, they don't like what he's doing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And
we
all
that's
know
what, and
someone
like
this.
When Kat is talking to her, says, I don't like, it's not you that I don't like the idea of you. It makes me feel replaceable. So you're like, oh, it's because she's so much younger. She's this little teenage girlfriend.
Yeah, and I know guys like this.
Yes.
That's the thing, is there's a lot of guys out there like this who are 45. They can't fucking hack it with someone their age, and they get someone who's like 19,
right?
Who like, I'm not saying that young people are stupid.
No, but
young people are stupid.
Well, also,
and so like
biologically, your brain's still developing. So it's like it ties into her intelligence being set at 40%. Like he's picking somebody he can control. So it's like a grooming thing, right?
Yeah,
you know,
it's fucking Randall and Clerks too. He's like, they all love me because I have a driver's license. Like it's that where it is. It's like if your peers are like, see you for what you are, you have to find someone younger who you might seem a little more impressive to.
Right? Yeah,
I'm sure
they all like me because
relationships.
I can buy beer.
Yeah. Like like that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are exceptions here and there, but like I think once someone's past like 30, this is a different conversation. I'm like, once someone's past 30, I feel like it's like, yeah, go date anybody any older than you. I don't date a, you know,
oh yeah, no, I just mean like
shit.
Jack Quaid is Jack Quaid's age, which is pretty close to us.
Yes.
And she's clearly supposed to be like 19.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Where it's like that stuff is like, yeah, that's clearly a guy, like that's what he's representing, is a guy who just needs someone that he can sort of seem more impressive to and be more who is more impressionable. I was just saying that once your brain fully forms, it's like, then who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Right?
I just wanted to clarify that I'm not talking about like any relationship where there's a substantial age gap is like creepy. It's just in this specific scenario it is.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying that it's always sus if the age gap is someone who's like 19 to 25,
right?
And
somebody who was
like 45.
Yeah.
Then
in
it's
high
like,
school, less than 5 fingers ago.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
How many years ago was it?
But like, you know, anyway, any other thoughts on this? This is just a really good movie.
Yeah. No, I just really liked it. This is one
like we literally both came out of the theater. It was just like, it's so nice to see something nail the premise.
Yeah. And it's not, again, like we said, it's not that it's like super deep or meditative on all these different themes. It's just, it uses like every part of it.
Yeah, I would argue that it shouldn't be, because one of the things watching this is I was like, oh, Ex Machina did this, you
Yeah.
know? Like, oh, like I think Jason mentioned when we did on Hypecast Westworld,
Yep.
where it's like like there are multiple versions of sex robots and then like
Yeah, what does it
a
mean to be
meditative-
human? Like,
Yeah.
how is, the heart wants what it wants, right? That's a thing that we say.
Yeah.
So how is that different from programming?
And this was like an extension of that where it starts by them being like, you empathize with her, right? Yeah, you
Right.
do.
Of
All right,
course
let's
you
go.
do, yeah.
Like that's what it is like they didn't need to ask those questions because they're like, we've already asked those questions a million times. Measure of a Man, Star Trek: The Next Generation. We've done it. We're past that.
There's an episode of the original series. What are little girls made of? I think is what it's called. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, they do a few TNG episodes about like, is data real?
Yeah.
Like we've been doing this for fucking forever.
Right.
So I really appreciate this movie. It felt like one of those movies that was like an extension of our like it didn't treat the audience like they're dumb. It realized
No.
where people's intelligences
Yeah.
are when it comes to storytelling, and it started with the fact of like, you get it, robots.
Yeah, well, and
Some people don't know they're robots, and
it's-
robots are real. They have souls. All right, let's go from there,
Yeah.
and let's do this like fun story.
Well, what is a soul, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I like that it starts like, you said it respects the audience's intelligence. It starts with a cheesy movie trope, like a cheesy rom-com
Yeah.
trope. Yeah.
And again, putting all those twists at the beginning, they respected. They knew they were like, people are going to figure this shit out. We might as well. We can't end on it. That
Right.
can't be our grand finale. So it's like, it really felt like a script. It felt like someone taking a script that I would have expected from like a middle of the road like movie about like this, and they took everything in that script and they scrunched it down to the halfway point, and then they wrote more script. That's what it felt like to me, and that was just really satisfying.
Yeah. Man, it was, I just like, one last thing I wanted to say about like the what is love is the stuff between Eli and Patrick. It's more subtle with them. I mean, obviously they're genuinely in love, and that was the reveal, but like the idea of like, is it love or is it programming? Like we mentioned, it's clear they've been together for years. So it's like, well,
Right.
is it not a real relationship at this point?
Right, they're making memories.
Yeah, they have actual memories together, not
Yeah.
just the ones that Patrick has created. It seems like at this point, the only false memory Patrick has is their meet cute.
Yes. And that is a good point. Like they could have leaned into that actually a little
Right,
more.
but it's
like
so
they
subtle, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, them as a couple, they do a really good job at showing them as being like right away. You kind of get the vibe that him and Iris are not that like when she's nervous and is like, "What if your friends hate me?" He's sort of just like, "You're doing all this on like now to me," and like you get the vibe that like she's an inconvenience. That like her programming is she's programmed to have these types of doubts and emotions. Also, I assume that was part of him jailbreaking.
I think that's
her.
part of the jailbreak. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's getting anxiety because
she's suddenly
Yeah.
I love by the way her waking up in the car too, where you realize like she was just shut off in the car, which is a great indication right from the start that you're like, he didn't want to chat with her on the ride.
He wakes her up when they're moments from arriving.
And it's little things like that where you realize like Eli isn't shutting off Patrick every 4 seconds.
No.
He's not. He shuts him off once to protect him and this is a big detail where they go to split the money. And this is again a scene that I did not expect to happen.
Me either.
And I so love that they just take Eli and Patrick aside and they go, "Listen, we killed Sergei. It's for his money. We'll just split it with you." And this is also part of like creating a situation where people like Eli, who you kind of like, is also like not a great guy.
Yeah, there's something I wanted to mention.
Complicit in a murder. They're all complicit in a murder.
Right, and as much as he loves Patrick, he does not treat Iris like a person.
Yes.
He immediately tries to kill her.
Yeah, they're walking this really interesting
doesn't have a
line.
shred
with
of it's after they have that heartfelt, beautiful scene. She makes a noise, so you're thinking, oh, maybe they're gonna help her. Nope, no, they're not gonna help her. He's immediately trying to kill her. Like he instantly does not. He doesn't have the empathy to see Patrick in Iris.
Yes, and that's fantastic.
She's still like Patrick. I think deep down, Patrick is still an object to him. Maybe no, I don't know. They're genuinely still in love.
I hate to compare this movie to,
but he doesn't think Iris is a person. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, I hate to compare this movie to Life is Beautiful. For obvious reasons.
Oh man,
it's hard to. But there's a moment in that deals with this kind of idea that I always felt was fantastic.
Father
which
Time
is that
just slapped me in the face.
Yeah, where Roberto Benigni's character has a guy that they
1997 motion picture.
Great movie.
I haven't seen it in like 30 years. Anyway, sorry.
So, I'm making a comedy about the Holocaust is right away.
Thin line, yeah. It's the day that
is that going to work out?
The day the clown died, or the day the laughter died, or anyway.
It's scenes like this where he had early in the movie he has a guy, I think a customer, that they share riddles together. They like love giving each other riddles, and it's like, oh, that's fun. And then later when he's at the camps and he is being brought in to be a waiter at a fancy thing, he encounters the guy again who's not in the camps, who's like on the side of the Nazis, and the guy like takes him aside and he goes to him and he's like, help me. And the guy wants to do the riddle game. That's it. Mm-hmm. And so it's this idea of like this friendliness, but he doesn't see him as like a person.
Right.
Like it's that weird, interesting lines that you can draw about humans where it's like the weird, like the way they can compartmentalize.
Well, we're
things.
Seeing it right now, right? Where it's like,
yes, we sure are. Yeah.
It's like, but like free Palestine unless I have to do anything personally or risk anything.
Right.
Oh no, then I don't care. If it inconveniences me at all, then I don't care.
Right. People put up these walls every fucking day.
Yeah.
And like watching this movie kind of explore that with Eli was really interesting.
Yeah.
Because of exactly what you're saying.
He's a really interesting character. Yeah.
Yeah, because there is more to this movie could be saying, and it is subtly saying, like that idea of seeing one person as a human and another person not is like, you know, you could. So again, I ex machina most things on robots. The entire Matrix is all kind of about that stuff. So they're sort of touching on those things, but they know we're sort of sophisticated enough as audiences to not need it like spelled out or preached at us necessarily. But they do good things where like when they're splitting the money and they're like, we'll split it 3 ways. And he's like, you mean 4 ways, right? Like they keep doing that. And so like that shows that
me and Patrick.
Yeah. And Eli thinks of Patrick as a person.
Yeah.
Who has his own money.
Yeah.
Like that's,
He probably does. He might have a job. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that I would 100% get a robot to work my job for me, do these podcasts.
Oh,
like,
hell
can you use a companion that way?
We could multiplicity. We could multiplicity ourselves, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
We got to multiplicity ourselves. I also like the detail that Patrick has tattoos. Because at first...
Oh, yeah.
You might not, because, you don't know he's a robot, but then when you know he's a robot, you might be thinking, oh, well, that's probably just the model that Eli chose. But then when you learn that they've been together for so long, you're like, maybe these are actual tattoos that they went and got.
Patrick has a life.
Yeah, he has a life.
Yeah. It's a really cool, and again, they use every part of the Patrick in this too.
They sure do. That poor robot.
Yeah, like it's just, again, it's that
poor
efficiency.
Himbot.
It's, he is a himbot.
He's a himbot.
Played by that guy was in Smile recently. I know his face.
Lucas something. He was the dude famous. Gage. That's right. He's the guy that was famously in that clip that. Gosh, what was it? Danny Boyle or.
I don't know. Is he into Twilight? He looks like he's in a Twilight.
I don't know if he's in a Twilight. He's the guy in that clip during COVID where everybody was doing auditions like via Zoom. And you can hear the director, but they didn't realize that he could hear them. And he's like, oh, not this guy. Look at his apartment. How could we possibly, if this guy can't care enough about his apartment? And he's like, he can hear them. And he just kind of says, sorry, I don't have a lot of money. This is about all I can afford.
Amazing.
I'm like, oh, dear, did you hear that? It's like very... And it was somebody like noteworthy like Danny Boyle. Anyway,
Well, I'm glad he's killing it in this.
He was in the new Roadhouse. He was one of the bouncers in the new Roadhouse.
Oh, okay. He went through the Euphoria pipeline that all the young people do. I swear that fucking show. I guess I should watch it.
That's like every big star of the current generation is going to come from that show. Yeah.
Every young ass star. I'm like, where'd they come from? Right, fucking Euphoria.
Euphoria, yeah.
God, I'm never going to watch Euphoria. Sorry. There's nothing wrong with Euphoria. I'm just... It's not for me, right?
I feel vaguely felonious trying... I don't...
Yeah.
It's not for me. Not meant for me.
Not for me.
Yeah.
No. Why would I watch it?
Yeah. Especially now that I just had a kid. I'm like, I don't need to see this.
Yeah. I don't need to see it in Euphoria. What's it about? I know nothing about Euphoria.
It's about
I just know that all
teenagers.
the young people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that sounds awful.
But real.
Right, that sounds terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to watch that. Not going to watch some fucking teenagers do stuff and feel things.
Yeah.
Exhausting.
Definitely not as a guy in my 40s. I would definitely be watching that and be like, what am I supposed to do with this? I
was saying this.
I feel like I'm going to get arrested watching this.
I was saying this in like Star Trek Next Futurama. I've been watching Dark. And Dark is a show for adults. It's not for teens, but it has a lot of teens fucking in it, or rather 22-year-olds
like it's
fucking.
Friday the 13th, yeah.
Yeah. And I had like moments of like Heavens to Betsy moments where I'm just like, oh my. Like, I don't want to watch this. Yeah. Like, I don't want to see
Clutching
this.
the pearls.
Yeah. It's like, can't we just cut away?
Yeah, I guess I don't know what my hang up with Euphoria is. It's the same sitch as a Friday the 13th. I don't know what.
No, I mean, but it is. It's like, no, it like reminds us of our own old age and mortality. It's like when I watch Challengers and I'm sitting there watching all these like spry 22-year-olds fuck while I'm just in my office being 40, taking notes for a podcast.
Yeah, what am I supposed
just
to do
like,
with this?
Oh God, I'm just fucking blasting towards death.
And so when Zendaya cracks her knee in the movie, I was like, oh, thank God. Now she's on my level again.
Yeah, slow her down a bit.
I don't know why the fuck I said again.
Now I can go on walks with her.
Yeah, now she's down to my level.
Yeah. I feel like I could take her in a fight. Probably still lose, but
no, I just mean I have a bad knee.
Oh, yeah. No, I get it. I know the old, like the older you get, the more you side with like, the evil witch that steals the youth, right?
Yeah.
Where you're like, I get it. It's wasted. It's wasted on the young.
More and more I'm
steal their youth.
Cheering for the bad guy in Supergirl.
Exactly. Take their precious life force.
Do it. You deserve it.
Yeah.
We are talking about Supergirl now, so I think we can probably wrap this up.
Yeah, this was great. Everybody see it if you haven't. Movie. I'm so excited to see what this director does next.
Same.
This is just All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We have a Patreon.
We do.
Patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. GAMEFULLY unemployed. I was going to say, look it up wherever you get your podcast. And I realized that's what they already did.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Because they're sitting here. But if you go to our Patreon, we have exclusive podcasts on there, like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek Next Futurama, Spiel Boys. We watch movies every Friday night with our patrons. That's a tier we have. We have a series of tiers that you can check out with different rewards. Like a Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the drill. We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com. where you can find a link to our Teespring store that has all kinds of cool original artwork by cool original artists like Starlene Hodge, Michael Vincent Bramley, and Justin Brown, and more others. So check it out. And check out our new show, Batical, wherever you get podcasts. New episodes are coming.
It's Bad Radical.
It is Bad and Radical combined.
It's terrific. I mean, I know I'm in it, but like I've listened to it and been cry laughing multiple times. So like if you guys like right now, people need shit like that more than ever. If you like something that's just, it's not like the other things we do. If you like something that's just like dumb fun, check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an improv show. We're just being goof 'em ups. Check it out.
Yeah, it's goofies. We're goofers.
Sorry, I wanted to say I would program my sex bot to talk like Goofy. Gorge.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Just ruin your sex bot completely. Just like growing it to talk that way and then be like, oh, I don't want this. like try to return it, and it's like you jailbroke it to make it do that. You can't get your money back. Like, sir, why would you make it talk like Goofy? I thought it'd be funny, but now I can't fuck it. But why? Like, I don't know. It's Goofy. Hey, listen, our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can find him on twitter.com as the Corlew, or go to shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. For more of his work, go to mvbramley.art. Our episode artwork is by Justin Brown, available on Twitter as Justin T. Brown or at artnessbyjustinbrown.com. And finally, additional artwork is by Starlene Hodge. You can find her work at starlenearts.com or on Twitter as StarleneX. Cool. Goodbye.